So hey guys, today I'm doing a video which was quite heavily requested last summer during the exam season because it's kind of like a revision-y tips video. Not sure what it's going to be called because originally I was going to do it top 5 revision tips and then I realised I had a lot more than 5 to tell you, so yeah, this is just going to be kind of like things I do to help me revise, and it'll be called something along the lines of that. So let's get straight to it. Just a quick kind of secondary intro, I suppose, for those of you who don't really watch my actual videos, my vlogs. I am 17 and I have just finished my GCSEs. I've just done my mocks for my AS levels. At GCSE I did triple science, textiles, business, geology, French, some other stuff. I don't really remember what I did. Oh, and history. And at AS levels I am doing physics, maths, history and geology, so it kind of gives you a bit of background knowledge on what these things work for me, and yeah. Anyway, one of the things I did loads at GCSE was revision cards. I made revision cards for every single subject I had, mainly the sciences, which I found really, really useful. I have like these ones, actually biology, you can't see them, but I wrote keywords in like different colours and all sorts of things like that. You can get like multicoloured ones like these. This is a smaller size, which I didn't use as much because I bought them by accident. Or you can get these bigger ones, which are just plain, which I used a lot, and obviously I used to make these. I'll just show you some examples of what the sort of things I used to do. This is biology B1 if you do AQA science at GCSE. I'm trying to find some like pictures and things. Well, basically I'd write it out and then write keywords in like the colour. Each subject had a different key colour, and I'd only write on one side of them, so if it was something I didn't remember I could stick it up on my wall and use that as like examples, like mini posters, so that I could remember it. So I used to have my walls like absolutely covered. I wish I had a photo, like maybe I have a photo I could stick in to show you what I used to do with them. But yeah, I found that really, really useful at GCSE. Not so much at A-level because the subjects I'm doing, there isn't like a lot you can write on revision cards. Like you can do it for geology, but not really the other ones as much. I suppose kind of history, but yeah. Anyway, that's kind of my first thing I do. Secondly, it's kind of similar to the first one. Oh, actually, one more thing with revision cards. There's a website you can use called Quizlet, and I'll link it below. And what basically you can do is you make up a set of revision cards. They look like this when you print them out, and it turns them into, you write the definition and then you write the word and then the definition, and then it will make it into like games and things for you, which is really, really good, really useful. It's completely free, you just sign up and you can use it like that. I use it all the time, and this is what I've done this year instead of doing revision cards. So when you print it out, this is my geology ones. You have the keyword on one side and then yeah, the definition on the other, so I've got them for all of my geology subjects I do. Really, really useful, really, really great, and it's just a great website. I wish I found it earlier at GCSE because it would have saved me a lot of writing out on revision cards, although I do think that is still kind of useful. Kind of linking in with that again is getting colourful pens to write on them. So I have these fine liners which are really good for diagrams. This little set of Bic crystal ball colourful pens, which I use for like key definitions and things, and generally like in my books I have a colour coding system. If it's formulae or something important like that, I write it in blue. If it's like kind of explaining my steps, I write it in pink, and then purple is for like in my school they have this thing where it's like the purple pen is like your corrections. I don't know if any other schools do that. And then if I'm like going through and I'm marking something, I'll mark it in green, because teachers tend to mark things in red, so then I know what I've marked and what the teachers marked, sort of thing. So that's kind of my colour coding system, and each of my subjects has a different colour. Like I mentioned, I did it at GCSE, I've continued it, and I've matched the colour to the folder colour, which makes me happy. So yeah, also colourful pencils are useful if you prefer to use pencils to pens, and highlighters, so you can go through and highlight what your work is. And I really like these ones from Sharpie. They're a couple of pounds on Amazon, but they've got really thin tips, which I just think they're good, and they're thin, so they like the actual pens are thin, so they don't take up too much room in your pencil case or whatever. So the second thing that I use is post-it notes. I go kind of post-it note crazy. I just bought some more post-it notes. I like the ones that are ruled, like these ones. These are from WH Smith's. I actually have loads more. I have a little pouch full of post-it notes and things in my school bag. So these ones is a pack of just plain post-it notes, like that, and then this is like mini lined ones and this is big lined ones. Each of these were $2.99 I believe, maybe these were $3.99 and they were on 3 for 2, so it didn't cost me too much. I'll just run through all the other things I have in here. I have these things, well there was another thing there but I've used it up, they're like little sticky marker things. These are really useful if you want to mark out something in a textbook, you need explaining or something. I'll tend to mark it in like orange or pink so that when I see my teacher next I can ask, you know, what is this, or how do you answer this question, because I don't know. And I have some more coloured ones which I have, which are good, and then I have these little baby ones which are yeah, I have these little baby ones which are just, they're like completely adhesive, the whole thing is, and these are just good to stick key things. Like I have the conversion from joules to electron volts, or mega electron volts I think that says, yeah, written on it, so I can stick it on the front of my book. Speaking of which, do I have any books I've stuck things on the front of? I do somewhere, just bear with. Here's another use of sticky notes. I will get, this is my maths, oh yeah, look, these are like the little tags as well, so you can use them to divide subjects. So this is my C1 maths book, and I've got like little things I need to remember stuck, and I've actually stuck them behind the little plastic folder because this is obviously the school's textbook, not mine, just so that they don't get snagged and things. So it's just like formulae and things I need to remember. And then I don't think I've written inside this one, I've definitely written, oh, and here's like another use of those tags. I sometimes like go through, this is a history textbook, so I use post-it notes to summarise paragraphs and pages and events and things. Not very often though, I only just started doing it, so that's another use of post-it notes. Another thing I like to do is make big posters and make like big mind maps and make them nice and colourful and stick them on my walls. I have a couple up here, I haven't actually taken them down because I know that as soon as I take them down I won't be able to get them back up again or something, which I just think that they're really useful just to kind of make your bring it all together on your wall, and just if it's pretty and if it's fun to make, I tend to remember it more. I did that for my GCSEs, like I said earlier. I covered my walls in posters and little revision cards. What are they actually called, those revision cards? They're called record cards, that's what they're called. Yeah, I find that really good to do, and I like doing them on squared paper rather than lined paper, just because that way you can like align it all properly, and it's really sad, I know, but another technique I really like using is just buying the, this isn't even a technique, this is something I like to do, buying the textbooks. Yes, it can be quite expensive, but they will be so worth it. I know at A-level they tend to give you the textbooks, which is why I haven't had to buy any this year, but at GCSE you don't really get given the textbooks, so I went through and I bought every revision guide I could, every textbook, and it was 100% worth it because you had the information that you have in school and what your teachers used to teach you at home. And I found that the actual ones that the exam boards make are so much better than the CPG. You know those ones, I don't know, I don't have any to show you, but they're like CPG revision guides and they like try and be cool. I find that the ones that your exam board make are the best because you know it's exactly what you need to learn, and although sometimes it can be a bit wordy, you can then simplify it, and if you don't get something you can use other revision guides, which is also why it's kind of good to have a, like, if you can afford to, have maybe like 2 different ones. Like you can buy the actual textbooks and then you can get the revision guides of the textbooks, so you can kind of like cross-reference. I found that like the best thing, because if you couldn't remember something or you didn't finish making notes in the lesson, you've got the exact same thing as you had in the lesson at home. And you can generally get most textbooks on Amazon. I remember my most expensive ones were my history textbooks, and they were £20 each, but they were really worth it to me because I had everything I needed to know, and my sister's doing history now so she can use them as well, so really she just, yeah, it was half the price really when you think about it. It was like £10 each. But yeah, I really recommend doing that. It's very useful. Another really good technique or thing that I didn't really do as much as GCSE but I wish I did was doing past papers. This is a maths past paper for A-level. You got your little question booklet and your answer booklet. I didn't do enough past papers at GCSE, so I wasn't like as prepared as I should have been for the exams. I still did really well, but I just think doing past papers, it really familiarises yourself with the kind of questions you're going to get asked, and you'll learn the patterns. Like at the moment in physics, I'm kind of struggling with physics at the moment, so I've done every past paper there is, literally all of them. So I know exactly the kind of things that they ask, I know what they want you to say, what they don't want you to say, and I think that's really beneficial. So if you've got the time, do the past papers. You don't have to sit and do it, you know, completely silent, head down, just do it like casually. Like if I have a free, I'll do a couple of past paper questions and then I'll just do some notes or something, and then when I finish it I mark it. I always print out the mark schemes as well, just so that I can, if I'm not sure on a question, I can just look it up straight away and it's fresh in my mind, rather than forgetting it, go through the paper and just marking it, and then it's not like, you don't make the links as much, I think, sometimes. So past papers are really, really good if you can do them. And yeah, like I said, you don't have to have loads, you don't have to sit down and be like, right, I've got an hour and a half, I've got to do this. You can do little dribs and drabs and then it'll all add up in the end. Also, kind of linking to past papers is quite often on YouTube and other websites, people have done like perfect exemplar answers to questions. So if you're struggling with a past paper, it's kind of useful to Google the past paper code or something, just see if there's any resources for it. I know that at GCSE there was a couple of channels that did maths ones, and they'd go through the whole paper, all question by question, or do something similar to the question I was doing. And you can't see, I'm like waving my hands around so much down here. Yeah, they'd go through like pretty much the whole paper and do it, and I found that really great. So there's lots of really good YouTube channels out there. They do it for science papers as well, actually, thinking about it. There's lots of really great YouTubers out there that do stuff for exams. Teachers quite often as well do them. So yeah, I just think that's really useful, because you sit on YouTube all the time watching makeup videos, or I do anyway, or Sims videos in my case, when actually you could just be watching something to help you revise. One of the most valuable tips I can give you is to give yourself breaks. Don't sit there for 3-4 hours straight and not give yourself a break, because it will just stop going in. I think the average kind of mind memory thing is about 25 minutes, whatever it is. The attention span is about 25 minutes, so I tend to give myself breaks every 25 to half an hour minutes. Yeah, you get what I mean. Just like a 5-10 minute break. I move away from my desk or I do my revision, go downstairs, play my dog, have a drink, have something to eat, something like that, come back, or I watch a YouTube video, or just something to take my mind away from it. When I was doing more intense revision, I'd take the dog for a walk or something like that. Just exercise is really good in helping everything consolidate and sink into your brain so you don't overload yourself with information. Yeah, so thank you very much for watching. If you have any more questions or any revision style videos you want me to do, I hope this covered everything. Maybe I should do like a little Q&A or something. Leave me any questions or anything you want to know about revision down below. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope this is kind of what you wanted. I feel like this is just kind of like a splurge of information, and I'm sure I'm going to have missed something out, but I kind of like, I started off with like my list of like top 5, and then it just turned into like, oh, how many things can I fit into a video? So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope your revision goes well. Also, don't leave revision to the last minute. Please don't. If you've got exams, start before Easter. Or for mocks, well, they've already gone by, but you might watch this next year. Start before Christmas, because you won't want to revise over Christmas. And yeah, if you're American and your exams are different times, I know that they aren't always the same, then yeah. So good luck, and I hope this has helped you revise or made revision a little bit more fun. And I will see you next time. Bye!